BYU, Coach Kalani, 8th year here. He's 56-34, 30-13 at home, 20-17 away. He's returning 8 on offense, 7 on defense, and he picks up 7 transfer. Now, a lot can be said about BYU not playing in a true conference for a while, settling down for a conference. The schedule changes. There's a lot of moving parts with BYU finally finding a home. But in case you guys don't know, BYU is a Mormon school. These kids have to do the Mormon thing before they can turn the field. So a lot of these kids, they don't hit the field at 18 and 19. They hit the field more at 22 and 21, which we see all the time. It can make a big difference. I mean, grown man strength versus kid strength, or, however you see it, it makes a difference at times. So coming over to the Big 12 with the element of surprise, they could hang in there, but they've been so inconsistent in their past. I was high on BYU last year because I felt like each game was a display to see what conference they were going to end up in. But a lot can be said about this team, man. They bring in a new DC, Jay Hill, which they needed to do because the defense has been slacking. The quarterback room has depth. They picked up Kendon Slovis. Now, Kendon Slovis is the guy who played high school. He was a high school quarterback for Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner was his coach. So he's a product of Kurt Warner. He has some classy, came in through USC. He's been moved around a little bit. So he's got a little classiness in him, potential to be a great quarterback. But I don't know if BYU is the place to do this. But I don't know. What you think, Big Ragu?
Yeah, Slovis, the former USC, and then he went to Pitt. He did a stint at Pitt for a little bit. Now he's over to BYU. So he's trying to find solid footing, where he can kind of make a difference, so to speak. And I guess whatever, kudos for Kalani to go grab this kid here, because evidently, I want to say he's closer to home. I mean, Utah, California, I mean, it's not too far away, I guess, right? So anyways, maybe they with the addition of Adrian Robinson, a former UNLV product at running back, Louisville also, he's shown some good flashes, even when he was at Pitt, he's shown, but I think his best year was still his freshman year when he was with USC, but the Robbins kid, he's rushed for 1,000 yards, so maybe he helps Slovis' cause out. And they got a wide receiver, Cody Epps, and they lose Puka. They did lose like 4 guys to the draft, NFL. They did on the offensive side. So they lost a tackle, a wide receiver, 2 wide receivers. So we'll see. He's going to need a little bit of help all the way around. But, I think they got a low win total coming in, so that might be something we look at. But I do like the move that they have made it to the Big 12. I think it bodes well for them longer term. Because BYU is one of these teams that they take on all comers. Kind of like Notre Dame did in the past.
Yeah,
they're always on the move. They're playing, and like you said, these kids, they do their missions and they come out and they have that age factor, that the physicality to them. So. It's a team I like to back as a dog, and as a matter of fact, if you've done that with this team under Kalani, he's 12-4 as an away dog. ATS 75% winner. So keep that in mind going forward.
Yeah, and this defense this year, the front 7 should come together, but they need a little improvement in the secondary. But the Big 12 has a lot of heavy offenses, and they have proved last year that heavy offenses is kind of like their Achilles heel. So they're going to have it rough, but they're going to have that size, age, and element of surprise on their side. So I think overall they could probably make a good day out of this, and that's the kind of team they are because they were independent. Now, if you want to get a little deeper, then, independent schools kind of schedule the games they want to schedule. So they travel to different places. They have to be very prepared and ready to play anywhere. They're used to that. Now they're in the conference. They know what's ahead of them. This year, the element of surprise, they're ready to play at all these places. And they should come away with a game or two that you don't think they can come away with.
Yeah. Don't forget now, like you said, the physicality of the team. They're both their lines have lost talent to the NFL. So they got to replace these guys. Do they reload or do they recruit well and do that in that regard? Like you said, but I think it's a fact that, when the kids come in, they're still big and physical. And I think that's why, they wind up being in the NFL, because these are guys that they're just not, kids that are just trying to find their way. These are guys that have had some extra time to prepare and work the mass and, get physical, get stronger. And I think they handle the job here. I really do. I think I'm going to be really interested in backing this team and the win total this season coming in. I think their total is going to be low too, from what I see.
Well, one more question before we go to the win total. What do you think about Kalani's seat? Do you think he's on the hot seat? I mean, he is in his 8th year. They made it to where they are. I mean, if they make a move for put some money together for a more quality coach, and since they ended in Big 12, it's possible. But this guy he's been pliable. He's did his thing these so many years. So I don't know. What do you think about him being on the hot seat, real brief?
Yeah, 56-34 overall. I think those are decent numbers. I think this will give them, like I say, with them getting their footing in the league. Is not, I would call it rockiness, but now they can really build upon preparation now for the same teams year in, year out. So I think that kind of bodes well, instead of watching game film week to week, and then having a big library, having to change, and you're still gonna have coaching carousels no matter where you go. But I think just the way the league structures, I think it bodes well for him longer term. 8th year, but here's the thing about coaching. If you don't perform, then you got to go. But I think his record is still respectable, for an 8th year coach. He's still 20 games over 500, and a 50-game schedule, 60-game schedule. That's pretty good.
And if he has to go, he'll probably end up in the Mountain West. But let's go to the season total.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was 5.5. I mean, Sam Houston, Southern Utah, put him in the bank. Arkansas, maybe a loss. Kansas, maybe a loss. Cincinnati, probably a win. TCU, maybe a loss. Texas Tech, Texas. West Virginia, another win. Iowa State, Oklahoma State can win one of those. Over 5.5 is good. I like it.
Yeah. I see them winning 3 out of their first 5 games. I know, Sam Houston and Southern Utah. Then they got Arkansas and Kansas back-to-back, and then Cincinnati to win. Then they got to bye. Then they got TCU. Don't forget TCU is going to be a little bit down this year. So, yeah, 5.5. I mean, I see where they come up with that number, but I still like them to get over. I mean, it's a team that had 8 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins, 7 wins, and they took on all comers. So this is no different here. I think they're up to the task. Give me the over.
Let's take it. We're going with the over on BYU. Book it right here on Boss and the Sauce. Let's go.